All right. Just vibing. Vibing. Oh, we can green screen out the background. That's weird. Lighting on. Does make it look a little bit better. We got one person. How's it going? How is life on this fine day? Let me grab my laptop. I'll do this like this. Is this still a mess? Probably still is, because I'm still on the Wi-Fi. If I need, I will wander and get out of this location. Up to 2 people. Let's see. Hey, Zekaru. Tell me if it's any good, because this has been quite bad internet. Okay, it looks like maybe from the phone it'll be okay, which is a little sad, because that basically means we can't do music, but it is what it is. We can still talk and chill and vibe. All right, what are some burning questions? I'm gonna pop on. Or actually, hold on. I can even start. Excuse me. All right. While this is going on, hold on. I'm back. I am back. Hello. Welcome in. We are talking about music, about life, really about whatever. Got any burning questions about classical music? Let's actually turn on some of my improvs in the background here. Got any burning questions? Oops. About classical music? I need to turn off the audio there. Okay, I'm gonna go on the piano disc Reddit for the time being, and we're gonna pop and go through piano Reddit. Let's see what's going on here. What are the greatest solo classical piano recordings in history? Interesting. Have you really used these as tutorials? Interesting. Yeah, what is people's thoughts on synesthesia and like all the visualizations? Because like it's pretty unhelpful for me, but what is some other people's thoughts? Like, do you like the visualizations? Like when you go on YouTube and they got the videos and they got the synesthesia stuff going on? Or is that just kind of annoying? And you're just like, whatever. I could take it or leave it. We're talking about the burning issues. I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say. Because I have to say, as somebody who's been trained to read music, the visualization is fun. Hey, Nicholas, how's it going? But it's not like I'm sitting there. What's the keys for getting famous? I can give you some insight in that. I'm not there yet, but there's definitely some tricks. to get into where you want to be. Them too short. Kren, control. Are you saying that's the key to getting famous? Is control? What I would say is consistency is huge. I know, but I mean 7K is not. See, here's the problem. There's always somebody bigger. There's always a bigger fish in the ocean. But this is what I would say. You need consistency, and more so now in modern times, you need a strategy that actually has some legs to it. So like it used to be, I feel like, and maybe this is not true, them two shorts, Crane Wise Jedi, it may be that people thought in the past, I used to think that you could just be consistent and that's all you needed. I think it's consistency plus a strategy. So for example, right now, my main way of growing my YouTube channel, I am being quite successful on shorts and, well, for me, and doing live streams. This type of live stream is probably not going to do as well because I'm just talking. But the ones where I'm playing music, we're getting like 70 to 100 people constantly. I get like 100 subscribers from them a piece. But I should back up for just a second. I do think you need to actually have something that you're really proud of, that you have as a unique offering. I think it's going to be very challenging to get to where you want to be if you're just some guy on the internet. It's not impossible. I mean, I was just watching some TikToks from a guy, husband of TikTok or whatever, and they were just dancing, right? Believer music. Hey, Sumaya. This is odd. You got any questions? I'm just answering questions. But yeah, I would say, okay, if I had to give you like a 3-step plan, it would be have something unique that you can offer. And again, it doesn't need to be anything crazy, but have something unique you can offer so that you can stand out a little bit. And then consistency, very, very important. And then finally, it's having a strategy. So like your strategy may be, I'm going to learn how to do thumbnails really well so that my long form videos actually get traction. Because here's the honest truth. If you just post long form videos, it is a waste of your time right now on YouTube. You have to try to play the thumbnail game. And if you get the thumbnail game right, YouTube will serve your video to a ton of people. If you don't get the thumbnail game right, it's going to serve it to nobody. Shorts is a little more forgiving, which is one of the reasons why I mess with shorts. But even shorts, they just changed something recently. So now you have to grab people's attention in that first like half a second to a second. And if you don't, again, it's a similar issue. You're not going to get anywhere. Hey, Sumaya. Yes. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. If you've got any follow-up questions, go for it. Donna Shri, hey, how's it going? Come on in. We're answering questions. Someone asked, how do you get famous? And again, mostly, hey Mehmet, how's it going? Any music questions? Any YouTube questions? I'm all for helping out. You're in Turkey? Sweet. Yeah. The thing with YouTube and the thing with all social media is it's math. What is Andante? That's a great question. Andante is walking tempo. So it can mean a few variety of different things, but I like to visualize actually physically walking. Hey, Zaina. I like to physically, I think about walking with the piece of music that I'm playing. And that will give you an idea of how fast you should be playing. Yeah. A lot of these tempo markings and music things are in Italian because that was kind of the thing. What do I play? I play keyboard. I play all sorts of things. But I'm on tour right now, Suleiman. In general, when I'm live streaming, I'm playing keyboard. But you subscribed? Oh, thank you so much, Donna Street. That's very much appreciated. Like as well. We only got 2 likes in here for 24. Bro, you have a computer? I do have a computer. It's true. Meow, Alwand. Hello. You also play piano? Piano is a great instrument. I love piano. Piano is awesome. I must do something again for freedom, but I'm unmotivated. Let's motivate you. What do you need? Am I a classical musician? Yeah, I play a lot of classical music, but mostly I do rock and roll and other stuff. Babong, okay. How do we recognize the notes so we can play it on piano? Are you talking about like hearing the notes? Are you talking about seeing them on the screen? Which games do I play? I play mostly strategy games. I made my own game for iPhone. It's called Thumb Warrior. It's pretty sweet. Bro looks like Mark Zuckerberg. You need to go on your Facebook and you need to type in all of your personal deep dark secrets so that I can be able to make money off of them. So that's important. You play classical sight reading? Can I play Roblox? No, I've never played Roblox. I'm pretty sure my brain does not work in Roblox. I'm too old. You look kind of familiar. Yes, because I am telling you that you need to use your music. Am I allowed to compose music on tour? Of course. You think YouTube video is a waste of time compared to YouTube Shorts? I think doing things that don't have a good return on views and subscriptions is a waste of time right now. And just in general, online, like time is a limited resource. There's this idea that you can just do things slowly and it'll build. Am I the son of Mark Zuckerberg? That would be very strange because here, let's actually look up how different the age is. No, I actually am Mark Zuckerberg, okay? That's the scary thing. Mark Zuckerberg's only 6 years older than me. Read my name, Iqbal. What anime do you like? I like all sorts of animes. Death Note is great. Death Note is great. What else? Hey, I love Piano and God. I don't know why. My phone is working great on this Wi-Fi, but the computer was trash. Death Note's really good. JoJo. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Which country? I'm in the United States. Do you like Alan Silvestri? Yeah. I know. It was driving me crazy. What's your favorite music or keys? I have a variety of them. Right now on tour, I'm doing Eric Clapton. I'm playing Eric Clapton tribute music. Have I been in an orchestra before? I've played for orchestras. I've never officially been in an orchestra. So piano is not a 70% of the audience is Indian. More power to you guys. That's great. Do I have a PC? Yeah, I do. Do I listen to Radiohead? Absolutely listen to Radiohead. JS Box, one of my homies. I love it. How can you find the time to be a musician and at the same time be the CEO of Meta? Here's the thing. AI runs everything now. All the things. Exactly. Hey, anti-spiral Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, this is what I'm going to need you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you to pop on your Facebook and just type the status, I give Mark Zuckerberg all of my information. That would be good. Was kind of sad. Well, I'm glad we were able to get back. Do I play Geometry Dash? I don't, but I got a lot of nephews that do. Do I have a pet? I only have children. I have lots of children. Eric Clapton's song, Wonderful Tonight, is about a husband in a wheelchair being taken out for a nice evening. I don't think I knew exactly that. Okay, interesting. Pleasure down the street. We got some friendly people in the chat. That's great. Where's your favorite spot in US for food or desserts? I look like a young Zuck. Appreciate it. I don't mind being told I look like a young Zuck. Except hopefully I have a little more life in my eyes than he does. That man needs to I don't know. What pet do you want as for my kids or whatever? Lots of children. Weird. My eyebrow right. Yeah, I have 5 kids. Would you commit terrorism if it was for a good cause? I think definitionally terrorism is a bad idea. Thank you, Yer. Did you ever produce music in FL Studio Mobile for fun? I have definitely used GarageBand Mobile for fun. I have never done FL Studio Mobile. I really dislike the whole mobile enterprise. What pet? I really like dogs. Dogs are pretty awesome. I'm not a huge bird person. Birds is kind of lame. I'm sorry for all the bird owners. Where's my piano? Here's the problem. I'm on tour, and so if I use my computer to play the piano and power the piano sound, it does not make enough sound for the computer to pick it up well. So all you're gonna hear is the clicking. It says dut, 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 so it's not worth it. So we're just doing this instead. How many instruments do I play? Piano's my main one. Then we've got bass, guitar, drums, and vocals. Bit of that. Do I have a car? Yeah, I do. Do you think that AI is taking all over the world just like in 1920s? The clothes makers came, people got furious, so do you think this will happen? Do I think we're under a tectonic technological shift like the Industrial Revolution? I think yes. I think that is going to happen. It's going to be more depressing in both ways than usual. Do I go to the gym? I work out. I don't always go to the gym. I like running. I do some body weight stuff, but I have a power rack in my basement. Yeah, I'm just answering questions today. I love piano and God, so really about anything. Do I produce with Logic Pro and Staff Pad? For writing music, I do Sibelius. Did you know that the top 1.1% of the USA owns more than the bottom 90%? Yes, I did know that. I use Sibelius for writing music, and then Logic Pro is my main DAW. I do like the DAW. You really enjoy my shorts? Thank you so much, VK. What is my age? I'm in my 30s. I think so. Can you play sounds? Do you know Raichi Samamoto? No, I don't know. So, okay, but Zekaru, they became before. No. So, okay, all right, you're misunderstanding. First of all, making long-form YouTube videos is still a really good idea. I'm not saying it's not a really good idea. What I'm saying is, for me particularly, I know how to make shorts that actually people watch. My YouTube long-form videos still don't get as much traction as my shorts. So if I spend all my time in this mental state of going, well, I should make long-form videos, then I'm not going to do very well. Now, here's one of the biggest problems with doing well on the internet. This is what started this stream. Let's go back to it. This is, I think, a fascinating topic for most people. The problem is people look at someone who's doing really well on the internet and they go, oh, I should do that. Wrong. They probably were not doing what they're currently doing to be successful on the internet. And also, times have changed. So you can't just look at somebody else. Like Markiplier, a lot of those OG YouTube guys were doing Let's Plays when Let's Plays were the hottest thing ever. Try starting a Let's Play channel right now on YouTube. See how well you do. Gaming is more popular than music. A little uncontroversial. You watched the concert yesterday and loved it? Oh, thanks, Donna. My little brother saw me practicing Chopin Opus 25 number 2 and learned a bit himself and is now at his piano lesson planning to show it off. He's 10. Yeah, younger siblings are that way. It was so cool. When I was born, you're just gonna have to figure that out. If you had enough money, what would you do right now? I'd make stuff and I would just hang out with my kids. What's up? Saw some of your show last night. Sounded great. Thank you so much. Oh, it's all good, Zakuro. He's a pianist. What animal am I scared of? No particular animal. Can I do a house tour? I'm at some random house and other people are sleeping, so I'm not gonna go upstairs while people are sleeping and show you. We're at just a guest house. So a lot of times on tour, venues will own a house just to put up the band, so it's a little bit thing. Bread and rice is more popular than music? I'd hope so. Any tips on coming up with video ideas in general? For music analysis, I feel like it's pretty difficult because a lot has been done already, and finding the sweet spot between too complex and too easy is difficult. Okay, here's the thing about video ideas and stuff on the internet. The Can I show my kids? I'm not home, so absolutely not. And also, in general, I don't like doing that. I began to dislike Eric Clapton after he started supporting Hamas terrorists. I generally just try to stay out of political things with musicians, because generally, if you... All right, I'll see you, Zena. If you... Musicians are not the smartest people in the world. I hate to rein in the parade at some point, but musicians don't show good judgment a lot. Whether you like the things they are saying or not, you really should not be listening to musicians for anything outside of music. That's my personal opinion, as you're listening to me for things outside of music. Anyway, Chopin enthusiasts. Back to coming up with video ideas. At the end of the day, the video idea thing is a lot about, don't be afraid of doing exactly what someone else has already done. The way that the internet works is you will explain it and do it in a way that is fresh because you did it. And so you don't really need to worry about copying, even copying yourself. I would just say, if it's important to you, if you feel passionate about it, you should make a video about it. Even if it's something like the C major scale, just make a video about it. On YouTube, gaming is, but music by popular people are more popular, like they have billions of views. I think there's some things that are offsetting that, but yes, of course, music is not the most popular niche, for sure. What's a few ways, in your opinion, to make money as a piano player? Ooh, wow, let's do that. What's all my kids' names? I'm definitely not gonna just randomly tell you all. You guys sound like you're trying to farm my personal information to impersonate me or something. It's like, what is your date of birth? What's your kids' names? Next, it's gonna be social security number. What's up, bro? What's a few ways, in your opinion, to make money as a piano player? Let me go through these. And you guys need to leave some likes. We got 47 people in here. We only got 7 likes. It's not that hard. You just hit the button on your phone. You like it. It's going to push it out to more people. Anyway, there are so many ways to make money as a piano player. I think I'm going to make I'll make a video that's a comprehensive list, but we'll do it right now. What are ways to make... Yes, exactly, Chopin enthusiasts. What are your exact coordinates? Sweet, we got up to 9 likes. Come on, guys, we can get to 15 likes. Lickety split on this. Make money as a piano player. Okay. You're back, Zena? Nice. All right, let's go down the list. Let's do the obvious ones. Playing piano, right? 100% Roy. And if it turns you off, that's their loss. I hate to say it, but that's their loss. Roy. So I don't get me wrong. Like we're pretty much on the same page. I think musicians in general should stay quiet on things. You already subbed and liked. Really appreciate it. Okay. So playing piano in like performing, right? Performing, you can definitely make money performing. We're gonna break that down a little bit more if we're interested. But let's get the big ones. Teaching. Am I Mark Zuckerberg? Absolutely. Here's the thing, I want to branch out. I want to figure out the other platforms to see if I might just want to buy YouTube. So we're just going to try out the YouTube features, see if it's any better or not. You're going to tell something, okay, that's a little scary, but go right ahead. We're up to 12 likes, there we go. Let's get up to 15 and then go from there. All right, so teaching is another one. Can you play piano with your feet? Nobody's stopping you. People can play piano really well with their feet. If you have a disability, that's actually a really great strategy. Or if you just want to be a weird guy on the internet, that also works. But yes, you can play piano quite well with your feet. Feet are actually really way more dexterous than we think they are. Yeah, the comments are very interesting. Mark Zuckerberg during the day, badass piano at night. Exactly. It's like a less sexy Batman. You take the second option? Yeah, it's okay. Being a weird guy on the internet is fun. Why is my eye the logo? It's because it was the album cover for an EP and I had never changed it. Jerry Lee Lewis did that, I'm sure. I like playing it with my elbow sometimes. Sometimes I'll use my head to play the piano. The head is a great way to play the piano. Okay, let's go over the obvious ones. Performing, teaching, writing, right? That's probably the easy ones on piano. Took a 10-minute practice break. When I came back, I instantly played better. Somebody's been watching the videos. Detective Lee, Mark Zuckerberg, yes. You want to start a live channel here, but no views are coming? Let's talk about that, Natalia. Do you have Discord? You could definitely hop in. Oh, I also want to say thanks for the donation last night. I just couldn't respond to chats because I was, again, actively playing. I've Clapton and Roger Waters ruined my playlist. Yes, that sounds right, Roy. I can give you some tips, though, Natalia, to start a live channel. So are you doing horizontal live streaming or vertical like this is? Because I definitely have ideas on that. So let me throw out a couple. Let me throw out a couple ideas for off the laptop. Okay. All right. In 2 seconds, Natalia, I want to answer your question. Let me finish this other one. We need more conversations in the Discord. We do. I've been busy, and so I haven't started them, but we definitely do need more conversations in the Discord. Okay, so here's a couple ways to make money on piano that you're probably not thinking about right now. The first is odd performance venues. So you're probably thinking about the bar that's got the live piano player and playing at theaters, but you're probably not also thinking about playing at church. You're probably not thinking about playing at hotels. You're probably not thinking about playing at grocery stores. All of these make bank. Here's another one, accompanying. So that is where you sit down and you play for somebody else while they're doing their lesson or they're doing their concert. Huge, huge money source. Don't forget to leave a like. Absolutely, we're still at 14. Let's get that up to at least 15, if not higher. We got 56 people in here. Okay, hopefully that helped the person that that was asking how to make money as a piano player. There's so many ways to make money as a piano player. Morse code, I don't know what that means, Maurice. I mean, I know what Morse code is, I just don't know that. Do I like scary movies? Yeah. I got into horror movies a lot because someone asked me to write a soundtrack for a horror movie. I look like Mark Zuckerberg. I am Mark Zuckerberg. That's the secret that you don't know. I own Facebook, but you know, it gets stressful sometimes, so I go on live. You're not playing music this time? I don't have the ability right now. Is there any way to make money from being a jazz musician for anyone who isn't Jacob Collier or Jesus Molina? Yes. But you kind of have to be a little bit smart, and you also probably have to live in specific locations. And then, Roy, let me really tie that up because that goes along with the conversation we just were talking about. So the first thing that I would say, if you're trying to make money on music, is you need to be flexible. Do you like your job and goodbye? That's hilarious. I am Kriven, Krithik, I am back. Awesome, Kriven. Yeah, I recognize that name. A. Robert. Oh, that's cool in Morse code. Do you like MGK? I don't need. Oh, Machine Gun Kelly. Is that yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. Fine. I don't know. I look like Mark Zuckerberg. Again, Jarek, you missed it. I am Mark Zuckerberg. Exactly. Hey, Matt Ho. Okay, back to this piano thing, and then I want to help out Natalia with going live and getting some following live. So you're playing jazz. When did modern pop start to exist? Okay, I do want to go into that too. Kala, hey, how you doing? So you want to make money doing just jazz. I would say the first thing is you need to be flexible. This is going to sound kind of like I'm backpedaling right away, Roy, but honestly, a lot of the opportunities to make money as a jazz musician would be like playing weddings and stuff like that. That'd probably be the most straightforward way. Now, let me give you a really cool anecdote though. Your sentence was too long. I believe it, Zaina. Let me give you a sweet, cool story. There were these two Brazilian musicians that came to my university to get their degrees, and there was very little of a jazz scene when they first showed up. But I look like a good person. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Kawa. Try to be. Here's the thing. These two Brazilian musicians, they showed up and they were like, we just want to play jazz. So what they did is they just went into every restaurant and just went in and said, hey, could we play for lunch? And most of them turned them away, but like 5 or 6 said yes. Literally within about 2 years, there was an actual jazz scene and money to be made in the town jazz. So that would be like hands down the strategy. Now, there is another thing that you can do specifically with jazz, at least in the United States. There's a lot of pockets. I look like a humanized version of Mark Zuckerberg. That's hilarious. Carta K. I love how it only takes a few people to make such a big difference. I know. I love that too. It really, guys, it can be you. You can literally change a community. You can. All right, see you, Zaina. The other thing I'd say specifically about jazz, at least in the United States, there's a lot of pockets of very good music schools that only have classical teachers. And so if you're willing to find these, you can offer jazz and they will immediately be super happy. Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, how's it going? How are you enjoying the metaverse? I mean, we're all in the metaverse now, right? Pacchino? Okay, I want to go back to Natalia. Who made him human? That's hilarious. Okay. At some point, I hope to meet Mark and say, hey, buddy, like, it's okay. It's okay to show a little bit of emotion. You don't have to just talk about jujitsu. There's other ways. Anyway, so here's the deal about lives and about YouTube in general. The first thing that I'm gonna say is, I didn't know this for a while, but lives do not work in this, right? You're never outrunning the Zuckerberg allegations, no. In Israel, there are a lot of jazz musicians, but no audience. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to be, you found another Clippy guy? Yeah, it's taking all over. You should learn Monroe Code instead, absolutely. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna tell you guys is horizontal live streaming only works if you already have an audience. Sorry to kill anybody's hopes and dreams. Yeah, we're over 15 likes. Thanks, guys. Now we need to get up to 20. That's your next. And here's the reason why, Natalia. There is no discoverability from the horizontal aspect ratio. Why is Clippy starting an army? There's a guy named Louis Rossman who's a really cool, interesting YouTuber. As long as you have a high tolerance for language, he's a very good YouTuber to follow. And he's very into digital rights. And so the Clippy movement is all about digital rights because basically all the companies that provide us these amazing services don't do it out of the kindness of their heart. The reason why I can live stream on YouTube right now is not because YouTube is just so benevolent. It is because they are making money. So in horizontal live streams, it's almost impossible to get people to watch you because think about you searching YouTube. How many horizontal lives do you run across? I genuinely only run across horizontal lives when the profile of someone I already follow is like bright red. That's the only time I ever see a horizontal live. Exactly. So no one's gonna find yours. That's the crappy thing about horizontal lives. Twitch, by the way, has the same problem. I tried to do Twitch for a while. Chopin or Mozart, I definitely take Chopin. I tried doing Twitch, but Twitch has the exact same problem. The highest viewed person is the only person Twitch recommends. And so no one's actually going to find it. Yes, I love that joke. There's a very old joke about jazz. What's the difference between jazz and pop? In pop, you play 3 chords for 100,000 people. In jazz, you play 100,000 chords for 3 people. Now, Roy, I am going to give you a specific, but Natalia, don't worry. I'm not going to just be a downer. I'll give you some advice. Bach over Chopin. I'm going to kill Chopin enthusiasts by saying that. Donna, what's your favorite song? I don't have a favorite song, but Glimpse of Us by Joji is really nice. Not trying to sound too personal, but do you make your living from playing the piano or do you have a 9 to 5 as well? That's way not too personal. I have been making my living from piano my entire life up until like a year and a half ago. And then I started an LLC doing social media marketing, and which is why I'm talking about like this live and other things. And so I honestly, now I do make more money doing social media marketing than music. All right, I'll see you later, Zekaru. In your opinion, is Nocturne Opus 9 overplayed? That's a good question. It's hard for me to think of almost any classical as being overplayed. I do want to go back and circle back to the pop question with Chopin enthusiasts, but let me finish up for poor Natalia getting strung along right now. I outlined the problem. So what's the solution? I think the solution, honestly, if you want to specifically grow with live streaming, how much do I earn each month? It's none of your business. I don't know why people are normalizing showing people stuff like this. Transparency is cool. Don't get me wrong. Transparency is cool. But man, people go way too crazy. Roy, yes. I have a really cool idea for you. Let me finish up with Natalia, then I'll go to Roy, and then I'll go to Chopin enthusiast. I'm getting all over the place. It's a shame people can't just be musicians anymore. They never were able to be musicians, Mustins. That's a historical inaccuracy. They never were musicians. You're just seeing the 1%. Eric, you, as a one brand? No, it's a horrible, horrible way to make money as one brand for social media. Don't listen to online people. And passive income is a lie. Passive income does not exist. I manage other people. I help other people get views who they have money. And so that's the arbitrage. That's what you do. Okay, back to Natalia real quick. Here's my personal strategy that I think you should try. The first thing is I think you have to either stream from your phone or force the computer into vertical aspect ratio, because that is discoverable, both on TikTok and YouTube. Not as much Instagram and Facebook, but TikTok and YouTube, they do give you discoverability if you're in this vertical format. So that's the first thing I'd say. The second thing I'd say, Natalia, that you want to do is you want to find something you naturally do that builds a community. So whatever your thing is, whatever your niche is, you know, you like knitting, you like water bottles, I'm just making up crap. I don't know. You like coasters, I just have stuff around me. You sing, okay, perfect. So whatever your niche is, again, let me throw out some ideas. Don't do any of these unless you like them. Otherwise, pick some other ones. Making a short every day about singing. That would draw people to your channel and then build up your live stream. Here's another one. Going on Reddit. Water bottles are diabolical. I'm not a huge fan of water bottles, to be honest. The plastic water bottles, I don't know. There's something wrong with those water bottles. Anyway, back to this. Popping on Reddit and commenting. Commenting on other people's channels. You could do long form videos. I think you're gonna run into similar problems of discoverability with that, but there's 3 options right there. Shorts, Reddit, and commenting on others. Because what you can do is you can basically allow for people to doing a live stream about water bottles is just diabolical. I could see it. I could see it being a thing. People need a way to discover you and for community building. And when you reach out first, when you engage with people first, when you give them a reason to care, then they come to you. And so that would be my 2 cents. But I would I'm happy to have a longer conversation about this. I'm just trying to get to some other questions too and untangle the complications in my brain. Roy, so this is the other thing I'd say. Jazz has lost its way. Hey, Cool Boy Spy. Jazz has lost its way. When jazz first started, it was about taking popular music and improvising over it. If you want to be successful and make a killing right now doing jazz, I think you need to do the same thing. How am I doing, Youngblood? I'm doing good. How are you doing? That's what I would say. I would say start thinking that way. Will being on Discord help? Can Chopin enthusiasts or somebody drop the Discord link? The Discord just means we can have a conversation when I'm not on a live. That's all Discord does. That's why I do the Discord. It allows for continuing conversations, because otherwise there's not a really great platform. YouTube, it looks like YouTube has some community thing. So where am I from? The Midwest. I'm in Maine right now, though. Good old Maine. You're Nigerian? Sweet. Awesome. I love how everyone's all over the world on these. That's super cool. How often are you fighting off women? I have a story for you, actually, Larry the Lobster. How many years have you been playing music? 28 years. So, it's been a while. I have a story for you, but okay, I answered Roy's thing. How do you join the Discord? It's in the bio. If you go to my bio on my channel, there's a link, and if you click that link, you'll be able to get there. Mark Zuckerberg, exactly, ABC Reels. So here's what I would say. You need to tone down on the memes. Your memes are too dank. You need to also tone down on the spamming. But yeah, all right, buddy. You need to be in a timeout. You're going crazy. Oh, wow. Double timed out. Wow, Chopin enthusiast put the ban hammer right there. Just not looking. Should I donate $200? If you want, you don't have to. Do whatever. Okay. We're catching up. He deserved the 5 minutes. Saw he sitting with next to the president. Did Mark do a thing with Trump recently? I know he. Oh yeah. Okay, with Bill Gates and Sam Altman. Wow, that is insane. That is a lot of extremely wealthy people. That's crazy. Yes and no, Roy. Yes and no. People want it in a way that your mom said you can't do it. Okay, listen to your mom. People want it accessible. They just want an accessible place. Like Dirty Loops is a really good example. Dirty Loops presents pop music in a way that's super crazy, but because that melody's on top, people are like, that's fine. I'm into that. What's the best way to learn sheet music or like stuff in music I can't read, like sheet music in a fast pace? So first of all, speed. If you can play something half speed, you can play it at any speed. So I would start by learning stuff a little bit slower. I would also say learning hand separate is a fine strategy as long as you're doing it. Hey, Shadow Cypher. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg here. I need more dank memes. And I also need you to stop spamming. Otherwise, you're going to get timed out. Okay. What's the best way to learn sheet music? So there's no best way, but this would be my strategy for you, 109. First, develop some discipline to always look at the title, composer, then key signature and time signature. After that, if you want to learn the music, 4 measures at a time, 2 measures at a time, something manageable, and get it down, okay? And then go from there. That's what I would say. Okay, all right, yeah. You were right, by the way. This user needs to be in a longer timeout. Yeah, it's all good. ABC pulled out his spam, yeah, exactly. Shuram, or simple songs in English, and it says that all people want to hear. Exactly, yeah. But again, I think part of this, so both jazz people and classical people have huge problems. You don't need a ban. Just give them even longer timeout. I don't really care. Uh, hey, Shadow Cypher. There's a normal response. Hi. Would you advise to learn to play from lead sheets, or would you recommend sheet music for a couple years, then start exploring your thing later? I'd say it depends on how old you are. If you are much younger, if you're below the age of like 15, then you definitely should probably learn sheet music. Otherwise, I think learning lead sheets, especially as you're older, is totally fine. Can you buy Facebook? Absolutely. I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of Facebook. Again, you just need to leave one message. One message, Shadow Cypher. Unfortunately, you're going back in the box. The problem with both classical and jazz is the attitudes, honestly, and it's the superiority complex, because they feel like they're more superior than pop, and the issue with that is it's very off-putting, and then we kill our followings because we're trying to be patronizing. Yeah, Chopin enthusiast, that's the attitude. It's very patronizing. Can you rephrase what you were saying earlier, Chopin enthusiast? Because I do want to answer your question from earlier. Back to Larry the Lobster. Let me tell you guys a crazy tour story. We're on tour, so let me tell you a crazy tour story, and then I'll answer some more questions. This Wajith, I have a guitar, quit when I was young, want to learn again, but I'm not just able to compose anything on my own. Do you have any suggestions to overcome this mind block? Compose crappy music. That's my favorite advice. Just write crappy stuff, okay? You think both blues and rock have the same superiority complex? I think they're getting there. Yeah, I do think they're getting there. Can you still learn sheet music even if you're older, it's too late? Yes, you can. But the reason why I'm saying, okay, to finish up your question, Ash, and then I want to tell the story. You want to learn sheet music if you want that access point. But if you just want to play music, lead sheets are way easier. They're way, way easier. Okay. Real quick story, and I want to go to Chopin enthusiast question. So we were at this theater in Wisconsin, and basically because you were asking about are there any ladies? There was basically this couple, and they were sitting nearest to the front, and the lady obviously had her eyes on me the whole time and was being very, very ridiculous. And they literally got in an argument. Her and either her partner or her husband, they got in an argument and they started fighting. And literally he left and she stayed for like another 3-4 songs. We went out to meet the audience after, and literally one of the ushers came to me and was like, I just want you to know that there's a woman that says that she's gonna take you back to like her place and is been very, very aggressive, and you should just watch out. So like this lady basically caused a fight with her husband, her boyfriend, her partner, and was gonna like stalk me. And then thankfully she got sense before the end and left before we went out to the crowd. But anyway, it does happen. It does happen. It's terrifying. Anyway, how we got from late classical and jazz to 4-chord music. People are too crazy. People need to chill. Chopin enthusiast, I personally think that's a artifact of two things happening. The first is the invention of the middle class, and then the second is recorded music. If Chopin married Bach and their son was Liszt and his sister was Mozart and again in love with Offenbach, I don't understand that, but it sounds funny. Hey, Donna Shree, you're back. Okay, so let's talk through the invention of modern pop music for 2 seconds. Pop music has always existed. There is pop music from literally the beginning of time. Pray for me, I'm losing my mind. Anxiety melted my brain and migraine too. Ouch. Sorry, Riri. Write it out. Drink some water. Maybe get a little bit of caffeine in you. for that migraine. Hey, Extreme, where's your piano here? Unfortunately, wasn't working. The live stream from the computer just wasn't working. Okay, so you got the middle class and you've got recording. Why do those make a huge difference? Because this is my second account apart from the ABC thing. No, you're totally fine, Atharva. It's more just civility and being able to read the chat. If someone's just writing the same message over and over again, it's really hard to read. How many years have you been playing piano? 28 years. So let's tackle these one at a time. The first is recording allows us to remember and distribute music in a way that never existed before. So pop music has always existed. There was always a dude playing 4 chords going, anyway, here's Wonderwall at the street corner. Like literally in all of human history. I know that's not a popular view. I know we want to think that people were enlightened in the 1800s and they listened to Bach and they were like, oh, yes, yes, yes. And they were so smart, right? No, no. That we only have the history of the rich people. And the rich people love the classical music, yes. But they still love the classical music. It was basically, this whole idea of the good old days, no. People were even less, they weren't even literate, okay? So like, yes, they were listening to the dude with the 4 chords, the 2 chords, maybe even the 1 chord on the street corner with the out-of-tune acoustic. Like, that always existed. The guy, they'll be married in a year in the summer. That dude always existed. Now, this is what changed though, because it's not the same as historically. There's the distribution that recording does. But then the second part is the rise of the middle class and where people get their money. So we went from a noble culture and a culture where you have land and you are part of a certain family group and that is where you get your money, to middle class and money free flowing. Do I play piano? I do. Piano is my main instrument. That's what I generally do on the channel, but I'm on tour, so I don't have access to either really good internet or an internet like that. So now, you get to modern times. You get to right around the 50s, the 60s, and you get this double whammy of technology making the world a much smaller place, and distribution, and then at the same time, you have middle class. So all of the money is actually in the lowest common denominator. So that's actually what led to it. That even 1,000 years ago, we're genetically exactly the same. 3,000 years ago is exactly the same as a child born today. Crazy. Our Bird died, Coltrane died, the Beatles disbanded, same for Pink Floyd. Roy, honestly, I think people are going to look back even 30 to 50 years and they will have a very different view of what music looked like. There were really popular bands back then in those time periods that sucked. And they were really, really popular. You some that busted through. But at the same time, there were bands that dominated, were number one, that sucked. So it's just kind of sad that the people who put real effort into music don't get any recognition because Taylor Swift is just better. Again, I know that I'm arguing against the wind because people feel this way, but I just really want to emphasize this point because this is what gives jazz musicians and classical musicians such a bad name. We don't respect what time does to shaping our view of history. And so we view that there's this emphasis. Now, I will say the business model around Michael Jackson and then Taylor Swift and all of these new artists is a new business model and is insane. But we view history in a certain way because of the passage of time, but right now we don't see what is actually gonna last. It's the same reason why people in church hate modern church music. They're like, oh, this is terrible. And then they're like, this thing 30 years ago or 50 years ago was great. But at the end of the music of this era, amazing, and bands that were popular at the time, unlike today, made good music. Again, Roy, I have to disagree. There's some amazing music made by very, very popular people right now that's going to stand the test of time. And then there's a lot of crappy music that people are listening to because it's just in vogue and just feels good. There's also really, really, that's also very true, Mustin Z. I feel that because you're not as big. You just actually mentioned some. Like Jesus Molina. Like, Jesus Molina is huge. And that is crazy. The dude is just a jazz pianist. Have you ever checked out music? I think I tried once and did. Comparing MJ to Taylor Swift is it's almost a direct one-to-one comparison. I hate to tell you. I don't mind starting fights. All in good fun, of course. Roadmap of classical method would be to go grade by grade. What would be the roadmap of someone playing with lead sheets? What are the different levels? You don't need to do those different levels. Okay, Ahmed King. You don't need to be trying to do something. Would you say that playing the piano gave you more control and flexibility over my life? I would definitely say that if you have the stomach for sailing your own ship and going on your own voyage versus doing a 9-to-5, I highly recommend it. The flexibility is incredible. Now, you have to be willing to work a lot more hours. Like, I guarantee I have worked a lot more in my life than my brothers have. They all went and got engineering degrees, but they have always had steady paychecks and they've always been fine financially. So it's kind of like, what do you want to trade? Do you want to have flexibility? Do you want to be the captain of your own ship, or do you want to have that safety? Because you're basically paying for the safety with your time, being stuck there. NJ had a few songs. Quincy Jones, yeah. So, okay, Roy, me personally, I love Michael Jackson. I think the Michael Jackson stuff is way more fun to listen to and way more complicated and interesting than the Taylor Swift stuff. But that, we have to wait for history to decide. And I think history is going to be pretty harsh on Taylor Swift. I think only one of her albums is going to survive. I think we're going to get like 5 Taylor Swift songs, period. The thing that won't change in 50 years is everyone's opinion of Jacob Collier's outfit. Yeah, Jacob Collier is going to also be very, very harshly judged by history. I think most of Jacob Collier's music, almost all of Jacob Collier's music is going to go away. I'm here with the hot takes. Don't mind me. Honestly, that's a very good point, Mustin Z. I made a video actually just recently about that. Okay, I want to answer this roadmap question. Levels and grading in classical is a lie. It's a phantom. So methodology in general, if you like it, don't get me wrong, do it. But ultimately, it is a way to kind of smooth out and give people a path, but that's not how music and art work. And so I would suggest trying to find what is satisfying for you and what the next step is for you. That's why a teacher is so helpful. How am I, Mark Zuckerberg? I am doing quite well. Anyone who dressed like Jacob Collier should go to jail. That's pretty crazy. Gotta go, properly practice now. That is the best reason to sign off. So see you later, Chopin enthusiast. Hi, very enthusiastically from Sri Mathi. Hello. Super Fox Tuber, hello. Jawed, yo, Mark Zuckerberg, hello. What's the hardest song to master? It's very equivalent. No, Taylor Swift is going to be remembered by history, don't get me wrong. I don't think a lot of her songs will. Divya Bijos, which is the hardest song to master? It just depends. Can I have the Zuck? Mark Zuckerberg's brother? No, I mean, I own Facebook and I'm trying to own YouTube now. Don't worry, I'll be going for TikTok soon. Bumblebee? Are you talking about Flight of the Bumblebee? Flight of the Bumblebee is kind of trash. It's not gonna... it's a gimmicky song because you can play it really, really fast. But even a lot of those Guinness Book of World Records, you listen to them, they're not playing all the notes. They're not. Can I sing? If you can, I have a question. How can you sing in high note or pitch? That's actually a good question. I have taken some vocal lessons. I haven't taken a ton. I gotta. Why are we spamming? Why are we spamming Cool Boy Spy? We've been doing good. I'll give you a very small tap on the wrist. What's that look, dude? It's called wearing a tank top. That's what that look is. Right? You got a bone to pick with Jacob Collier. The dude doesn't have fashion sense, but hey, he's making a statement. It's all good, cool boy spy. Everything a person says they play the piano, it's always, can you play Fly the Bumblebee? It's some sort of gotcha. It always is. And there's a few of them. Rushy is another gotcha, although, hey, MEHUVC, I don't know how to pronounce that. Hi, what's up, bro? What are you doing for a living? Up until very recently, it was all music. Now it's a little bit of social media management. Music helps maybe in my crazy life, yeah. Nice fit, much love. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Opinions and Helter Skelter. I love that song. I love Helter Skelter. Yes. Was built to be unplayable. Yeah, but it's like a lot of Black MIDI. A lot of Black MIDI is just not actually very hard. Okay, Nemo. You want to sing a high note. You want to sing the I'm done hiding, that whole golden thing. The trick with singing high notes is air pressure. So let's put on our science cap for just a second. Ultimately, what creates a higher frequency is the wave wiggling faster. So how do you get that wave wiggling faster? What's my content? I do a lot of music stuff, both educational, funny, and performances. Do I have a girlfriend? I got something better. It's called a wife, baby. You want to sing high. I cannot sing the high note on Golden. It's a matter of deep shame in my family that I cannot sing the high note in Golden. I can get close, but I can't sing the high note on Golden. But when you are singing, the air pressure needs to go up. Now, what people typically do is they use their throat to clench in and basically make that air passage smaller so the note goes up. That is incorrect. That is how it hurts a lot. And like even here, you can hear a little bit of strain. That's because we just did a rock and roll concert last night. Was singing a bit for that. I've also been talking a lot. The reason why talking so hurts your voice so much is because people tend to talk again with tension in their throat. But really, you get your air pressure most from your belly. A lot of singers talk about poking their belly out and trying to almost look pregnant when they're playing or singing. Another thing that you can do is you can actually lie on the floor and put books on your belly and get pressure and feel that pressure. And if you can feel that pressure, then that can really actually pop your voice up higher. Yes, Cool Boy Spy. Singers are very odd people. I'm not gonna lie. They are very odd people. Do you use Facebook or own Facebook? Both. Any opinions on the cadenzas of Livestream? They're quite lovely. They're quite lovely. Something about Maine earlier. I used to stay in Wells, Maine, right on the beach. Nice. Am I the youngest sibling? How did you know? That's a little creepy that you knew that. But yes, I am. Nin Zero, hey. Oh, technique. I think the cadenzas on Livestream are some of the most approachable cadenzas of any classical cadenzas. And the way you actually approach them is by hearing and having that sound really good. Can I sing Gold? I'm not going to sing any songs right now. Again, have I ever broken a guitar? I've definitely broken guitars, not like on stage like rock star style. What do you think about Oscar Peterson? Oscar Peterson is maybe not a human being. I think Oscar Peterson may be the most perfect pianist. I don't like listening to his jazz because it's too good. Like I like Bud Powell. I love listening to him play jazz.
it's gritty, it's real. Like the thing with Oscar Peterson is every note he plays is just perfect. Just perfect. Sorry to interrupt. How do you find discipline to practice music or just anything in general? Okay. I like to approach discipline in a very odd way. And that is, I like to approach it like I have no discipline. So I try to create an environment and an identity where I am forced to do the thing. So for example, let's say you want to identify as a pianist. It's not about how good you are. It's not about how impressive you are, whether you perform live, whether you make any money at it. It's, do you wake up in the morning and do the thing? That's it. And then it's about lowering your standards, right? Like if your standard for practicing is you need to sound good, well, you're never going to practice. But if your standard of practicing is you touched the piano, then you're going to practice every day. That's what I would say. If you could sing like one of these three singers, which one would you pick? Stevie Wonder, Chris Martin, Chester Bennington, or Robert Plant? I think that's a really easy choice. I think at this point in my life, I probably would choose Stevie Wonder. Back in the day, Robert Plant, hands down. Hands down. But, man, the ability, the talent, the range of a Stevie Wonder, you can't. How does I read a lead sheet? Okay, lead sheets are basically chords on the top and melody here. So the first thing you need to do is become a treble clef master. That's really easy. Every day, shove treble clef in front of your eyes and go nuts. Then the chords, go through and just X out or parentheses any chord you don't understand and just read it. You'll skip like half the chords, maybe even 3/4 of the chords. You'll do something though. It'll be fine. Then as you go, start to actually put on like a checklist. Be like, okay, a C7. I don't know what a C7 is, so I'm going to look it up. Okay, C, E, G, B flat. All right, I understand a C7 now. Oh, it's an F minor 7. What is that chord? F, A flat, C, E flat. Okay, now I understand it. Do that and start learning the chords. Can you train your high pitch? Yes, you can. You can increase your vocal range. If you've got a really crappy vocal range and have even moderate okay genetics, you can train your vocal range from where it is to even an octave higher, 2 octaves higher. There's all sorts of special techniques too. What is my favorite food? Pizza's pretty good, not gonna lie. Cool Boy Spy. Only Oscar Peterson list be like, I paid for 88 keys, so I'm gonna use them. Watching on the keys yesterday. Thanks TJ's Game Corner. If someone asked you about your job, what were you going to answer? Nowadays, I say like social media consulting. I look angry. Sure. Doing a thing half-assed is better than never doing it at all. That's a motto to live by. Those are words to live by. Mark Zuckerberg, yes. Barath Waj, absolutely. Ash, thanks for the donation, by the way. KSA Warzone, hey. Yeah, Ash is the legend. What is the best major or minor for creating, composing music? Very much depends, but I would say if you're doing it and you're composing it like for playing it, it should be something that you're comfortable with, of course. Besides, I think the real limiters in modern times for what key you're using is whether someone's singing or an instrumental range, so how it physically sounds, and then the ease of programming it / playing it. So those would be my 2 things to be thinking about. So for example, like for me singing, you want to pick a key that works well with your voice, if you will. Would you say it's better to learn the piano by practicing songs that you like or practicing your scales and chords in all 12 keys? If you get the choice, I would choose both, but it would be way better. This is a huge problem with music education in general. We tell people, you have to do this, and then they get demotivated and they hate music. Instead, we should be like, hey, what do you enjoy? And start there. Live without a keyboard? I know, craziness. Either Robert or Stevie. But the problem with Stevie is that he always sounds funky. Yes, it's true. It's true. Am I a singer? I do sing some. If you've seen the movie Whiplash, would you agree that Fletcher is an abusive asshole, or if he was justified in treating his students like shit to gain perfection? I haven't seen Whiplash, but I know about it. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, of course, Mimo. Mark Zuckerberg just got a human update. Yep, it's rolling out with Facebook. Everybody's going to turn into a human now, even the AIs. Here's the thing about Whiplash and about that. It's a characterization, but honestly, it's a fairly accurate characterization of certain hardcore ways of teaching music. I had to let go of this myself. I was taught very similarly in that way on how to learn music. Very aggressive, very negative, right? You do something bad, no, that's wrong, you're stupid, try again. Here's the problem with that method of teaching. It does not garner as good as results as the opposite. Now, you do need a little bit of negativity to sharpen things up, because what you end up if you're always positive is very talented people who can play a lot of things, but they're a little sloppy. So you do kind of have to lay the hammer down sometimes, but at the same time, man, if you can motivate somebody and you can just basically not tell them their limits, they can go crazy. They can go absolutely crazy. So I think there's merit to the Whiplash method, if you will, but no, he was just being an asshole. What's your favorite instrument? Piano, by far and away. Why live without a keyboard? Because I'm on tour. Cool Boy Spy, why do you keep asking the same question? If you're gonna donate, donate. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Because again, I don't care. Through enjoyment of what you like to play, you'll probably find it easier to enjoy the harder practice songs. Absolutely. It makes me so sad when I hear a lot of young piano players playing Czerny and Hannon. Because are they going to get good technically if they do that and stick with it? Yes. But if that was forced upon them, they're going to lose the joy and they're going to be not into it. I think I can sing, but I don't for some reason. I don't know. I want to act as an actress, but that will never happen probably because it's been so long and nothing happened. So I guess my talent is totally wasted. Riri, it's never too late. There are tons of people who make it in music and as actresses in their 50s. This idea that you have to hit it big in your 20s is a lie told to us by people who want to promulgate that because they think that it tells a nice, compelling thing. Do you know when you make the most money you'll ever make? Do you know when you're most successful in your career? The day when you retire. That is literally, statistically, when you are the most profitable, the most successful in your career is the day you retire. So this whole idea, like, okay, are there windows with certain careers? There absolutely are. Sports is probably the most famous example. Are those windows elongating by certain practices? Absolutely. The fact that there's some athletes that are killing it up like in their 40s is insane. Other careers, like you're going into gaming, you're trying to be good at Fortnite. I got news for you. If you're in your 30s, you're not going to cut it, probably. So there are definitely things that genetically the windows close for, but don't be discouraged, Riri. If you have a passion for something, you should just start working on it and see where you get. You didn't play piano today? I played a little bit to do different things, but have mentors be nice? Yeah, that does. First time together was the last game. I don't even know what you're saying. They weren't justified. Yes, push them. Want to improve, but for Fletcher's approach, I'm going to quote, not quite my tempo. I completely agree, Roy. Completely agree. That's also very true, Mustin Z. We have to normalize, I'll see you later, Cool Boy Spy. We have to normalize people realizing that making it may literally be turning your passion into a part-time job. Or just literally playing for an open mic once a month and having 15 people love it. Like, that's cool. That's awesome. And there's so many opportunities when you put it that way. Like orchestra, right? Okay. If you define orchestra as playing for one of the national orchestras, guess what? Quit right now. You're not going to do it. Like, I'm married to somebody who's an amazing trombone player. Never got to play with a national orchestra. She has friends where that was their entire life goal. They spent hours every single day doing it, never made it. But you teach a little bit, you play for a municipal orchestra, you mentor, you do all these different things. You get a very fulfilling life. Do you think equipment quality really matters for musical instruments? 100% yes. Here's one of my other hot takes. People all the time are like, it's the person, it's not the instrument. Yes, that is a true statement. But man, does it matter if you can get the music. I think we forget how many people 100 actually is. We totally forget how many people 100 actually is. Even right now, 22 people is a lot of people actually. My guitar teacher crucifies me every time I don't practice enough, but ever since I began to play, I always practice enough. Yeah, Roy, like holding to a standard is good. Like I don't regret, for example, in college, I was really struggling emotionally. I had some trouble practicing in a good manner that was actually effective sometimes. So even though I practiced, I would show up to my piano lesson and my teacher literally one time went, you know what we need to do? We're just gonna go get a cup of coffee. So literally, instead of my lesson, we just went and got a cup of coffee. And she's like, you need to practice more. And we just talked. Like the tough love needs to be normalized. Like people, the pendulum has swung too much the other way, is what I'm gonna say. Like we look at a movie like Whiplash and we go, that's too intense, we don't like that, and we try to turn that into a total villain. And don't get me wrong, I haven't seen the movie. From everything I know, that dude is a total villain. But this idea of tough love, of being able to actually have a standard, really matters. I look like Mark Zuckerberg? Zero. Here's the thing. You haven't been on Facebook as much as we're hoping. So I came here to tell you to log back into Facebook, go on Facebook Marketplace, maybe buy a couple things, maybe start some conversations, join a couple groups. We need your information, really. Hey, Raja. Exactly. Like, and there's definitely a line there. But like, I have made so many students of mine cry. And here's the crazy thing. I'm really not trying to make them cry. I'm doing everything in my power to not make them cry. But I am the only person in their life a lot of times who's holding them to a standard. I go, we are gonna play this right now. And they go, I can't play it. And I go, no, you can play it. We're gonna play it right now. Now I'm gonna sit down in my chair. I'm not gonna say a single word. And you can take forever. Literally, I'm happy this lesson. If we sit for 28 minutes in silence and then the last 2 minutes you play this for me, I'm happy. But you're gonna play this. And then I sit there. Man, I get results. But that standard, that there's no option, there's no way out of this, you have to do it, crushes people in this day and age. They break down crying. It's like you hit something. And it's because, again, like you look everything and nobody else. Can I sing Golden of Jake? I know, it is total dad vibes. It is. I am a dad through and through. It is very true. At the beginning, I also practice very hard, but what my teacher does is crucify me because I don't practice the right things and not because I don't practice and his approach worked. Yeah, I'm very similar. I am so much happier when I find out you didn't practice versus you practiced and you didn't get any better. The practiced and didn't get any better is so painful to me. That's what makes me cry. Feel Hippo. Oh, hello, Mark. Hey, Feel Hippo. Srimathi, I'm not singing Golden. I'm not singing anything right now. We're just gonna chat for a few more minutes and then call it a day. This is fun. We're doing good things. I'm enjoying the conversation. Yeah, not doing any music. Hopefully I got some good internet somewhere else later. Internet's not good enough for me to go for my laptop. I don't really have a good setup. Can I play guitar? I can. Just change your name at this point? No. No, people need to know I'm actually Robert, but If they want to make the jokes about Mark Zuckerberg, go for it. No, I'm not singing any songs right now. I am not a confident enough singer to just start belting out something without an instrument. Just 1 year I started playing. I just kept rushing forward and never been stuck at the same place. That's great, Roy. That's what a good teacher does. Like, teachers are so incredibly amazing. What do you think people learning music instruments should learn in general? The very first thing, so this is more specific to piano. I think people need to learn learn the letters actually really good. I think a lot of people miss that step and it really screws them up. Honestly, actually, that is a universal thing. I think it's true with guitarists too. Most guitarists don't know the letters on the guitar, and that's what I would definitely say. You subscribe to my channel, thank you, Srimathi. There'll be another live soon where you'll hear me playing music, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I'm really glad I subscribed," because I can tell you right now, I guarantee I am better than most of the people you're subscribed to on the internet. What do you think people learning music instruments should learn in general? Let me think through that. I want to give you a more interesting answer. I think you need some system of organization. Don't start playing with half-weighted keys. I don't actually mind that, to be honest. If you're trying to learn classical, absolutely not. But if you're just trying to learn music, like, I think we need to start putting keyboard in its own box as an instrument. I think people need to start realizing it's okay to teach someone to play on keyboard. Like, that's how organ works. That's how harpsichord used to work. Like, it is almost its own instrument, the non-weighted keyboard. What I would say in general is people need a comprehensive way that they can understand the why of music. So this tension release, this telling a story, this dance we do in music. We need a way to understand that and to comprehend that. That I would say is a huge part of learning music that people don't really do. They don't really have a box. They don't have a way to fully understand what they're doing, the why. And it's not even necessarily music theory, it's almost music philosophy. Because if you understand that, you can really teach yourself anything. So it's very powerful. Can I play the Hayashi's performance? I'm not going to just randomly turn on recording. 100% Mustanzy. We can normalize the conversation around weighted and non-weighted keys with the conversation around acoustic versus electric. So when you are learning guitar, if you just want to learn how to play electric, just learn electric. Who cares? Just play electric. But if you ever want to play acoustic, start on that acoustic. Because going from electric to acoustic is a pain. Going from acoustic to electric, not too bad. Well, you look like Pi, Mark Pi there. So I just see 3.14 all day on your profile. So I would definitely say, have I watched the Hayashi's performance? I like the random questions. Hayashi's performance. Oh, you're talking from Dadandan? Yeah. Yeah, I know a Dadandan's, the Hayashi performance. Yep. Okay. All right. We don't need that type of message, dude. That's just gross. Yeah. I immediately deleted that. I'll give him one more chance. If he writes some other crazy thing, we'll just ban him. My teacher never did it as his main job, but he did it for fun. He's a VP for Kimberly Clark, but he still teaches guitar for fun and at a very low price. He's still better than 99% of teachers. That's awesome. You found a gem in the rough, it sounds like. It's the same with people learning manual first, then automatic. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And man, manual is so much fun to drive. I need to get a manual again. I'm down to 2 cars again. I may need to start looking around for just a fun car to drive. Besides piano, what's my favorite instrument? To listen to, it's trombone. To actually play, it would be guitar. Actually, no. To play, it's drums. To listen to, it either be trombone or guitar. Guitar is very, very expressive, which is fun. Trombone, though, very, very beautiful. Cello is awesome too. I like instruments in that baritone register. You accidentally signed up for piano playing in intramurals of my school and have zero experience. You're gonna have a blast. Piano is like the world's easiest instrument, so you'll be great. Stray Kids. Do I like cats? Not particularly. Do I like the Stray Kids? I don't necessarily know them or their music, not gonna lie. I mean, cats are fine. How many elder siblings do I have? I have 4. I'm the youngest of 5. Although this feels more like information farm questions. I feel like every time I'm on live, it's somebody trying to get my in my accounts. I feel if I had like cats would scratch my harp, probably. Oh, you play harp? Harp's beautiful. I had a friend who was a harp player when I was in high school. She was a little crazy though. When she went to college, she was a couple of years older than me. She was like, "I'm gonna load you in my trunk and take you to college with me." It was a little terrifying. Dog or cat or bear? I definitely take a dog over a bear. He used to say that he just doesn't teach students that don't practice and come ready to lessons because it frustrates him. Everyone I know that studied with him are at least an average player. Yeah, that's a huge learning thing when you teach. At the beginning, you're like, I just need to make money, especially if that's your main income. People who feel like cats always prefer dogs for some reason. That's an interesting thought. Having a bear as a house pet is absurd. I don't know, it depends on the size of the bear. No, that's a terrible idea. I'm sure you've watched like the documentaries of the people who like think that bears are their friends. If you put your skill level in playing from 1 to 100, how good would you be on the piano compared to the guitar? Man, to quantify it, I'm definitely like the honest truth is on piano I'm extremely, extremely good. Every other instrument I'm just a dude. I'm just a random dude. That's how I'd put it. On a scale of 1 to 100, random dude. Okay, all right. See you later. Bye-bye. There you go. Everything he writes. Wait, no. Hidden by me? Does that mean it's still... Hold on. Let's report. I don't know. Something like that. Okay. Thoughts on Chopin? He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've never been to a Sleep Token concert, but I've heard their stuff. It's good stuff. I look old. Well, it depends on what your definition of old is. But considering, I feel like everyone on average who hops on here is like a teenager. Yes, I am old. That's a true comment. Thoughts on Chopin? Chopin is a amazing, amazing composer. One of the best. All right. Oh, tennis with your dad. Good for you. I used to play tennis all the time with my dad before I moved out. So much fun. English or Spanish. That's such an old meme. That's got to be going over a year old now. I look like I'm in my 20s. Well, thank you. That's a good compliment. Have I ever played drums? Yeah, I like drums. Drums are great. Here's the thing with Chopin. Chopin understood the assignment. Going back to the conversation that we were having at the beginning about classical and jazz and like being like very uppity. This is gonna sound weird because he's, yes, I know Alwand. I understand the meme. You didn't have to. You ruined it all by keeping on going, okay? Kind of looks like my uncle. Dude's 32 now. Well, I'm older than your uncle, so. You didn't have to explain the whole meme. So here's the thing with Chopin. Chopin leaned into folk standards and dance music, and a lot of the things that he wrote, if you really strip it away, are just like really lovely, lovely tunes. Like they've got some finesse to them, but most of what Chopin wrote is actually extremely accessible. Extremely accessible. It's a great sport because you can play it even when you're 60 years old, unlike a lot of other sports. Absolutely. Yeah, tennis is great. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get rolling, but you guys have all been wonderful. This is going to sound weird, but I didn't realize how jacked you are. It doesn't sound weird. People say that all the time. It turns out lifting weights makes your muscles bigger. What is the difference between rock and metal? Honestly, in this day and age, there isn't one. I'm going to answer a couple of these and then I'll be out. Rock and metal basically are two sides of the same coin. I would say from a feel difference, it's the aggressive level, the aggression level. That's what I would say. It's like metal has the extra edge to it, the extra toughness. Do you think art or culture is often overlooked in society? I feel like no one really cares about musicians. Maybe it's just me. Yes and no. I think society only cares when it wants to care, when it's convenient. So society loves the arts when it's something to celebrate, when it's something visible, the spectacle, but people don't want to fully embrace the full understanding of what it means to be a musician, an artist, the cultural aspect of that. And so there's all these gaps, right? Like, and a lot of it is driven by money. So for example, we're okay supporting local musicians if they subsidize their time by doing it at such a low rate that we can afford it. But we don't really want to do it otherwise. Gym advice. Am I into cars? Cars are cool, but no, not really. Let me give this gym advice and then I need to get going. It's going to be very similar to the practicing advice. The first thing is do something consistently. I started out by just trying to get to 100 push-ups a day. That's not going to like completely change your world. It's not. But if you do 100 push-ups every day, it will start changing your life. If you go from doing nothing. Because that 100 push-ups is going to once you start doing that, if you really want your muscles to get bigger, you need to figure out a way to challenge what you're doing. Piano. Do you prefer digital instruments or the real thing? I definitely prefer the real thing. Really recommend. All right. I'll see you later. All right, I got to get going. Especially when the sneezing starts and the coughing. All right, I'll see you later. All right, peace out, everybody. Like, subscribe.